Hey folks, today's show is sponsored by Basecamp. Don't waste time wading through millions of emails to get a grip on what's happening with your company or the team you work with. You should use Basecamp. It helps everyone stay on the same page. The all-new Basecamp 3 includes chat, project collaboration, and file storage, all in one single, secure, easy-to-use cloud-based platform. It's flexible and affordable. See how simple business life can be. Start your first Basecamp project for free. Sign up now at basecamp.com/WTF. That's basecamp.com/WTF. We're also sponsored by CISO, the all-comedy ad-free streaming TV service made for the serious comedy nerd. Go watch the new show from community creator Dan Harmon called Harmon Quest. It's an epic adventure, both live action and animated, and always hilarious. You can watch every episode of Harmon Quest on CISO now. Go to CISO.com and use promo code HarmonQuest to get 2 months free. That's an extra month free. You'll also get classic series and loads of stand-up specials, every episode of SNL, the entire Monty Python catalog, and so much more. Start your free trial today at CISO.com. All right, let's do the show.
Lock the gate!
All right, let's do this. How are you, what the fuckers, what the fuck buddies, what the fucking ears, what the fucking delics, what's happening? I am Marc Maron. This is my fucking podcast, WTF. I broadcast from my garage in the hills of Highland Park from the Cat Ranch, which is a self-designated name. It's not really a ranch. It's a small 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom that is slowly being taken back by the earth. Some repairs need to be done. Fires continue out here in L.A. I'm sorry if you've been inconvenienced or you lost property. My heart goes out to you. I do not know why it happens every year. I'm sure there's an explanation. It gets awfully dry. Perhaps the fires come from the lack of water. The lack of water in the city. But it's been a little humid and the sky gets black and apocalyptic. And last night the sun looked red. Is it? I don't know. I'm wary to drag God into it, but on a yearly basis, I do believe that the universe, let's call it the universe, the forces of nature, try to reclaim and take over or destroy the LA County region. Perhaps it's spite, perhaps there's some sort of malice on behalf of the forces of nature that we here in LA are busy constructing a malignant alternate reality that we feed people. We feed them. We create an alternate reality that manufactures falsehoods and fictions that end nicely or end badly, but still not real. But L.A., man, the fires creep me out. I do need to fix some shit in the house. I mean, I know I've talked about this ongoing theme. There's some ongoing themes, if you've been with us since the beginning, that I can't seem to shake, that I'd like to shake, that would sort of be relatively simple to shake, it would seem. Today on the show, the amazing and funny Jane Lynch will join me shortly. If you're not connecting now with a person, you know her. You know her from Best in Show, from The 40-Year-Old Virgin, from Glee, from Party Down, from Talladega Nights, from A Mighty Wind. She was supposed to come over once before, and that didn't work out because she got frustrated, I believe, and lost. And mad. A little, and then, we made up for it. We made up for it. I'm sweating. I don't have the air on. I can't put the air on while I'm recording. Thanks for asking. Tour. Yes. I will be in Bloomington at the Comedy Attic this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I believe all those shows are sold out. Stand Up Live in Phoenix, August 20th for 2 shows. Still tickets. Albuquerque Journal Theater, September 3rd. Still tickets. The Comedy Club in Rochester, the 9th and 10th of September. Don't know what's up with that. There's probably some tickets. But the bigger shows, a few theaters for the Too Real Tour with my new Too Real photo shot. At the Wilbur, September 24th in Boston. At the College Street Music Hall, September 25th in New Haven, Connecticut. At Troy Savings Bank Music Hall in Troy, New York, October 14th. At the Carolina Theater, November 17th in Durham. At the Night Theater in Charlotte on November 18th. At the James K. Polk Theater in Nashville, Tennessee, November 19th. I'm at the Vic for 2 shows in Chicago, December 3rd. That's all that's released right now. Those are the dates leading up to some other things. I'll let you know. Good. I did that. I self-promoted me. All right. Buster the Kitten. How's Buster the Kitten doing? Buster Kitten. Buster Kitten. Buster. He's all right. The black cat kitten is okay. I posted a video on Instagram today. Yes, I did that. I posted a cat video. It's not that great, but there's a lot of heart to it. What's happening is I have these old cats, Monkey and LaFonda. LaFonda is a slightly temperamental, older female cat, and Monkey, it turns out, is a very skittish, and somewhat cowardly male cat. And now I have this little, like he must be 3.5, maybe 3 months old, Buster Kitten. And all Buster wants to do is play. So he's pushing up against these old cats, and they're not hitting him. They're starting to accept it, but they're not playing. And it breaks my heart. This is my little melodrama. My little, theater of heartbreak is to see Buster just jammed with kitten energy, running around, looking for pals, and these old cranky fucking cats are just like, and I talked about this, but it's ongoing, but it looks like Monkey's starting to give in. It looks like Monkey is starting to engage and sort of, become open to the kitten. He's more mature than I am, it seems. He's able to process, trust a little quicker. It's only been a couple weeks. LaFonda, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. I just hope that Buster doesn't lose a fucking eye. Hey, wait, listen up, people. A lot of you people use Spotify, and there's a great way for you to get new music that you'll love. If you don't use Spotify yet, this is a good reason to get on board. It's called Discover Weekly, only on Spotify. Discover Weekly allows you to lose yourself every week in the thrill of new music discovery. Your Discover Weekly playlist is 30 songs you didn't know you loved yet. You get a brand new, unique playlist every Monday. It's like having a music-obsessed friend who gives you all the best new stuff, like the older brother guy. The playlist is personalized based on your musical tastes, so the more you use Spotify, the better your playlist will be. It's the perfect way to get lost in new music and the perfect way to kick off your week. It's something to look forward to every Monday morning, in addition to new episodes of this show. Don't forget to save your favorite tracks on Sundays before your playlist refreshes. That way you'll get the best possible new picks tailored directly to your tastes. Go to Spotify.com/Discover Weekly now to get your playlist. That's Spotify.com/Discover Weekly. So here's the deal, you get old, you get older, you get set in your ways, you start to justify your shitty behavior. Now, mine has become more limited. There's only so much I can do. But there's some part of me that thinks that I can't change, or I don't want to change, or I'm too old to change. I never thought I would be that guy. I do think I've changed a bit. I've evolved. I'm not sure if people change, but you can tweak and sort of, kind of rewire and, try to sort of, disable some old, machinery. But, I still got this thing. I still got this heart. I still got this heart problem. That's not necessarily, it's not a physical malady. It's a mental and, emotional thing. Like, I just noticed that I was getting angry. My relationship is nice. It's going well. And I don't know whether I react to stress or what happens, but I started talking about politics a little on stage, and I got to this point where I don't even really like my tone when I talk about it because I've been so open up there. So you try to do it in an open way, but then I feel anger coming out. And then when the anger comes up, there's a little bit of satisfaction to self-righteous anger. It feels good. Feels good to fucking, swagger around up there with a very defined and biased and partisan point of view and call out the dummies and do that thing. Like I used to live in that, and it's not very far away from me. So I feel that happening on stage, and I feel like I'm distancing myself from my true self. It's a manifestation, but it's not a good one. No one likes that. Even if you're funny, they're not going to like you. I mean, you can get laughs, but they're going to be like, this guy's a little worked up. But I feel it's important. So sort of wrestling with how to discuss my feelings about the political climate, and then do the other material, which seems, not irrelevant, but mundane, which it might be, but there's a lot of existential beauty in the mundane. If there wasn't, there'd be no poetry. There'd be no painting. There'd be no art. So, but I felt the anger crunch. I felt the clamp coming down on my heart, and it started to pervade. I started to sort of like, get, sort of cocky and defensive and reactive. I started engaging with trolls on Twitter. I started to feel the juice of rage bubbling up within me and riding it, but not letting it consume me. And then over nothing, after we had a lovely day, I got mad over nothing and, kind of, raged around like an asshole a little bit. And I didn't, it was weird with, in those moments where you have, a little outburst, which is not unusual in the couple situation. I haven't been doing it much, and maybe it was building up, or maybe it was, but it's really, there's other ways to communicate. I didn't choose those. Something just popped. And, you gotta get a handle on that popping. But what is that emotional injury right there? What is it that happens when you feel that pop, where you're like, it just opens up so fucking quickly. And then you're in the rage and it's like crack and you gotta fucking come down from it. And then, you think you're justified because you have to be, because you don't want to shoot down the shame chute. You want that to be a slow decline if possible. You don't want it to be immediate, because then, I don't know, maybe it's a buzzkill. But whatever the fact is, little ashamed that happened, that I raged out a little bit. And, just copping to it, and we talked about it, and I gotta fucking work on it. Cause I've been avoiding it. I don't do it much anymore, but it happened, and, it's like, I gotta get a handle on this shit. What is so goddamn scary? What is so threatening? What little dumb childhood wound in this grown-up fucking rib cage needs to be, carterized? Got to carterize that fucking hole in my heart so it doesn't volcanically erupt at the sort of delicate moment of building intimacy. Got to move through it. Got to focus. Got to get myopic. Got to fucking close down the distractions. Stay in the feelings and not fucking ruin everything. God damn it. But I guess I'm just trying to reach out. If you have this situation and you know something that I don't know about carterizing the childhood wound on my heart so it doesn't have lava-emitting properties, so we incapacitate it to keep the lava inside. We're sponsored today by Squarespace, the best way to create your own personal website. If you need a full-service website, Squarespace will help you make a great one. Just go check out WTFpod.com. That's all Squarespace. Or maybe you need a simple landing page or a photo gallery. Well, if you're checking out WTFpod.com, go to the special mini site we have called MarkMeetsObama.com. We created that site in a couple of hours using Squarespace. So it doesn't matter what you need, a massive site with hundreds of pages or something really simple. Squarespace is the way to do it. It's easy to use. You don't need any prior knowledge about building a website. You don't need any special plugins on your computer. You can set up an online store, customize your settings, and you get a free custom domain when you sign up for a year. Squarespace offers 24/7 customer support. That means you can get online and chat with an experienced Squarespace user working in a Squarespace office at any hour of the day. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter offer code WTF to get 10% off your first purchase. That's squarespace.com. Offer code WTF. Squarespace. Set your website apart. So again, Jane Lynch, very exciting. I hope you enjoy it. I told you where you would know her from. Best in Show, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Glee, Party Down, other stuff. And I was happy she stopped by.
I had indoor cats when I moved to the canyon, and they eventually became outdoor cats, and they survived. And
they did?
Yeah, they loved it out there, and they would always come home. And now I have another cat. They passed away, both of those cats.
Naturally?
Naturally, yeah.
In the canyon?
I purposely put them down. Yeah, in the canyon.
That's astounding.
Yeah, we have now an 8-year-old cat who has survived. most of the 8 years. I mean, not that he was killed in the middle of it, but he lived elsewhere. He lived in Berkeley with my ex.
Oh, really?
And now she lives with me. I live with my ex.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's great. We get along, and it's
as roommates.
As roommates, yeah. Yeah, we don't like sleep in the same bed. She has her own room.
Right.
But we're like co-pilots in life.
So you both have lives outside of the life you have at home? And
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But she's also my assistant when I need one.
Right.
And she doesn't feel like demeaned by any of that.
Yeah.
She's really a perfect human being.
That's amazing.
She's really perfect. She's even more perfect than when we dated.
Oh my God, I don't even know how that happens. Like me just thinking about me and my ex are roommates now.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, I have several exes where that would not happen.
Good. I just want to make sure
right.
you're a normal person.
Right. It's not like, what is it? Modern love.
I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand any of it. I'm a monogamous person. Mm-hmm. If I'm in a relationship, I don't know how people do open relationships. I don't understand it.
Well, I think that romance is the problem.
Right.
I think the expectations that come with romance, which are unnatural.
You mean romantic thinking?
Romantic thinking.
Right,
like this is going to be something that's going to complete me. I mean, how about the movie? You complete me.
Right.
It's
the worst. Oh, it's the worst.
I do a live stage show. We do a medley of songs, love songs.
Yeah.
And we sing the stuff that, we were brought up with these notions. Let it please be him, and I won't last a day without you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then that's it? That's the show? That's commentary?
All. That's it. No.
Is it ironic?
Yeah, it's ironic.
Okay,
I started out singing that song, It All Depends on You, and in between each phrase I go, romantic relationships are basically bullshit.
Yeah.
And I tell, that I basically had a renaissance in terms of thinking, and I'm done with the romance. It's stupid.
So what do you look for now?
Nothing. I'm a happy girl right here, right now.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love the now.
The romantic thing, like if somebody has romantic notions that you're with, you start to feel the pressure of them.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. It's so high. You start to change.
Yeah.
They start, and you're both acting artificially.
Right. And they start getting disappointed by their idea of what you should be.
Right. And then you're like, oh, I got to rise to what their idea is of me.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's the biggest lie in the world.
And then you end up resenting the reality of them.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Lower your expectations. I'm not who you think I am.
Whoa, Nelly, relax.
So we tried to do this once before, and I remember, I had this horrible vision of you. You got lost.
I got lost, and I was really cranky to your assistant, and I want to say right now, and I know she doesn't work for you anymore. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was like, you know what? I can't leave the Los Angeles general area because I don't know where the fuck I am. I was at a gas station where Glendale Boulevard meets the 2 meets. I didn't know where I was.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah.
So this is like a day trip for you?
Oh my God, yes.
Come on, it's not as bad as going west.
No, it's not.
At least it's more interesting. There's streets you've never seen before.
But I know my way going west. Now I know this, and the trick for me is to stay on the 101 to the 134 to the 2, and I got here with no problem.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't know.
So I apologize.
I'll tell her. I'll tell Sam. She's right. I just had this vision of you just aggravated in your car and just saying "fuck it,"
and I
which I've done.
We all do it. I guess it was at a time too when I was just too busy.
Right.
I was doing too much, and I mean that's a great quality problem, but I was doing too much. And now I'm like, I got the whole day. I can hang out here as long as you want.
Maybe we could just listen to some records or something.
Yeah, why not? Let's hang.
So what? You're on break from everything?
Everything.
Really?
Yeah.
On
who
purpose?
knows if I'll ever work again? And it's okay.
I think you've done all right.
I'm kind of sitting back and loving having no plans.
Was that a choice? You just stopped?
It sort of was.
You have to make the choice because somebody like you, I imagine, are like, come on, just do this thing.
Right. Yeah, that's happened, and then again, it's not happened, too. It's almost like because I put that energy out there, nobody's coming in.
Oh, really?
It's kind of like
But you're not freaking out. You're enjoying it.
No, not at all. I'm having a great time.
It's sort of astounding how long you've been in show business in a way. I mean, not in a bad way, but I mean, I was watching The Fugitive.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, Jane Lynch is just being a doctor.
Right, in 1980.
Straight roll?
Right. In Chicago, I was a local hire.
Is that true?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you grew up in Chicago?
I grew up on the south side of Chicago in a suburb.
Really?
Yeah, and I worked in Chicago for probably 8 or 9 years before I came out here.
Like a big family?
Not a real big family. We're Irish Catholic, but we kind of, the rhythm method kind of kicked in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They were responsible
They were
Irish
responsible
Catholics?
Irish
Not like,
Catholics.
another one.
Right.
Just make room in the other one's room.
Right, exactly. No, there were 3 of us.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
And what kind of family? Irish Catholic? What's your dad do?
Yeah, my dad was a banker.
Yeah.
And local savings and loans kind of thing.
Like small bank before the big banks?
Exactly. But he worked at LaSalle National Bank, which I think now is bought up by Bank of America. But it was one of the bigger.
Yeah.
He started out there, and then he got progressively smaller banks, but bigger.
And he was a loan guy?
He was a loan guy.
He had his desk at the bank?
And did everything with paper. And so you would walk in, and he said, I'd like a loan. They go, go see, you got Frank Lynch over there. Hey, how you doing? Sit down. So what do you got there? What do you got for collateral? I mean, it was like old school.
I like those guys with the desks at the bank.
Yeah.
They look like they're more important than anybody at the bank.
They do, and you kind of want to sit with them.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys.
And your mom did
My
what?
mom was a stay-at-home mother, but she didn't want to be, I don't think, deep down inside. She wanted to be
I don't think any of them do.
Yeah, really. I think that was kind of the response to, after World War II, the women basically ran everything in World War II.
Right.
And then the guys came home, and so they had to develop washers and dryers and vacuum cleaners to get the women back into the house, And I think my mom was like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But the second she could, as soon as my younger brother was in school, she became a secretary for the school district.
That's so funny. I was about to say real estate license.
Yeah, no, she didn't go that far. She was a great secretary, and she did shorthand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she knew how to take shorthand. Which
that's like no
one does that anymore.
No one.
Yeah.
I remember seeing like a notebook that had shorthand on it, and I'm like, what's the point of that? I can't read my regular writing.
Right.
Can you?
But they sit down with the boss and the
fast. I guess it was,
and then they go back and type it. And she was a great typist, and she worked until she retired. I think she was about 65 when she retired.
And you're the oldest sibling?
I have an older sister who's has 4 children.
Oh, that's great.
2 have lived with me at different times. 1 lives with me now.
How many people are living at your house, Jane?
Right now, I have my friend Jennifer, my ex and good friend.
The ex and good friend.
Yes, and my niece Ellen. She's 25. She lives in the guest house, and my Jennifer's son Harry, he's 23, and he lives in the guest bedroom.
So there's a guest bedroom and a guest house. Your niece lives in the guest house,
right? Because
she wants to be here, or she
wants to act, and she's doing really well. She did 3 national commercials since she's been here a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah. She looks nothing like me. She acts nothing like me. She's a completely different human being.
I like hearing stories when family members are living with other family members. It wasn't because I had to get out.
Yeah. right. No, that wasn't it. It was a beautiful thing.
And you started, when did you start really acting? Did you always want to do the acting thing?
Yes, I knew right away that's what I wanted to do.
What made you know?
I guess being watching television.
No, that's it?
Yeah, and I remember going to see a play when I was about... I was so young that the memory is foggy. It's through mists.
It's happening to all my memories. 2 hours ago.
Yeah, right.
Mist.
And I went to see a play in the neighborhood school with the older kids, and I remember the lights went down and the lights came up, and it was this whole world, and I was so enchanted and fascinated by it. I will never forget that.
Theater's mind-blowing. Even if you see bad theater or amateur theater,
I agree.
There's something about it where it's like, this is really happening.
Exactly. I agree. And when I go to little towns, I'll visit. I went to Cambria once, and there was a little theater there, and I loved. And they weren't performing, but they were rehearsing, and it said open rehearsal. Come join us.
Yeah.
So I went in there, and they looked at me like, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Open rehearsal," and they said, "Oh." Yeah, okay. And it was very Corky Sinclair, man.
Why is Jane Lynch here?
They didn't. I wasn't Jane Lynch back then.
You weren't?
The schmuck off the street.
Oh, you
this would have been 2000.
Really?
Yeah,
you just kind of wandered in?
I wandered in.
What were you doing in Cambria, wandering around?
I was with my parents, and we had just gone to the what's his name, the place down. Oh God, the Hearst.
The Hearst Castle.
Yeah.
Did you see the elephant seals?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
What the fuck is going on?
I know.
It's the weirdest thing. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
And me and my buddy, he had never done the coast. We're driving down. We just see people hanging out. We're like, let's get out. And there's just 1,000 seals giving birth, fucking, beating each other up. And I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. And kids are watching it.
They're still doing it. I just went to Big Sur, and every 15 miles, people were turned off the road watching
It's really astounding, but it's a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
Yeah, they are tough. They're a brutal breed.
And they're huge. Mm-hmm. Oh, Hearst Castle's nice, too.
Yeah, Hearst Castle was
that swimming pool inside, the blue one with the gold and stuff.
And did you have a decent docent?
I think so.
Our docent was amazing.
Oh, really? Like obsessed? Like knew everything?
Obsessed, and she was funny. And I just was enchanted with her.
But when you get done with it, you don't feel good about him.
No.
I mean, you're like, what was he trying to do?
Yeah, he was kind of a dark guy, but I loved that everybody went there, and I loved that they had to take a helicopter, and the 101 at that time was like, you could go 25 miles an hour on it, so it took you 5-6 hours to get there, at least.
Just for a party.
Yeah, just for a party.
That's how important he was.
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin would travel 7 hours to come swim in his pool.
Charlie Chaplin has a hotel in Montecito, which I love going to Montecito.
Are you serious?
It's right on the corner. It's called the Montecito Hotel, and he founded it, built it, and everything.
For any special reason, or just because?
I think that's when people were going to, like, the ranch, the San Isidro Ranch. They were taking vacations there, and they were helicoptering in and driving up the 101.
The only story I hear about Charlie Chaplin, either residences or like, I've met several different people in L.A. who said, apparently my house used to be, like, one of Charlie Chaplin's girlfriends that he'd keep on the side. Wow. Like, I've heard that, like, 3 times. Yeah. Like, he just had women everywhere. Tucked away in bungalows.
Have you ever been to Largo? Backstage at Largo.
Coronet, yeah.
The Coronet.
Yeah.
He has several terrific pictures of Charlie Chaplin, a little older, because he used to have an office in the Coronet. He had an office.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know that. What do you do over at Largo? You do the stage show?
Well, I usually do Harry Shearer and Judith Owens' Christmas thing.
Yeah.
But I have this stage show, this live music show that I've been doing around the country, and we did 2 nights there. We did Wednesday and Thursday.
And this is where you sing the romantic songs?
Yeah, well, that's one of the numbers. It's one of the bits.
Is it just you?
It's me and Kate Flannery.
Yeah.
Kate Flannery was Meredith the Drunk on The Office, and she's a really good friend, and we've been singing together forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we have a 5-piece band that is just to die for. They are amazing.
Yeah, and you guys do shtick?
We do a little shtick, and the band gets involved in the shtick, but it moves really fast. It's hopefully very, very funny, and it's eclectic music. It's everything from Irving Berlin to Nicki Minaj to Mark Frischberg. I don't know if he does great funny
Do you
jazz
sing
stuff.
Earnestly?
I do sing earnestly, and then I sing goofing around.
Right.
Do you know Jill and Faith Soloway?
Yeah.
They wrote a song. They're good friends
I know
from Chicago.
Jill.
Yeah, Jill and her sister is Faith, and they've been working together forever. But I worked with them a lot in Chicago, and they're good friends. They wrote this song called "If Wishes Were Rainbows, So Am I," and so I opened with that.
You mean Jill from out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've not met her sister. Maybe I met her sister once before. I know Jill. She's been in here a couple times.
Yeah. Since I've known Jill, she's always been somebody giving birth to something fantastic and mind-blowing.
Yeah. Did you know her in Chicago?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I lived with her mother.
What?
I lived in the basement of the house that she grew up in for probably a year and a half.
How the hell does that happen?
Well, I was here in L.A. doing the Real Life Brady Bunch, which is Jill's baby, Jill and Faith's baby. We did actual episodes of the Brady Bunch.
Holy shit, I forgot.
We were a little bit of a cultural phenomenon.
No, I remember. I saw it in New York.
Oh, did you at the Village Gate?
Were you there?
Yeah.
Then I saw you do it?
Yes.
Downstairs at the Village Gate.
At the Village Gate, yeah, right.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then I went back to Chicago and was doing a play, and I didn't have an apartment anymore, so I stayed with Elaine in her basement.
Okay, so you see acting, you saw plays. Did you act in high school?
I did. Yeah, I acted in, but I quit my first play. I got scared. I was doing a one-act adaptation of The Princess and the Pea, and I was playing the king.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of laughs at the audition, and then the first rehearsal I didn't get any laughs, and I quit.
Really? Just freaked out?
I freaked out, and then I got in my little high school theater community, I got the reputation of a quitter, so I wasn't cast after that until I did a production of Godspell senior year in my theater arts class where you had to.
So you always sang?
Yeah. Yeah, I love to sing.
But did you want to be a serious actor? Or did you, or it didn't matter? Yeah,
it didn't matter. I was non-discriminating. I said yes to everything. Because
you're primarily, I would say, a comic actress now.
Yes, probably, yeah. But I love to do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw you in The Fugitive.
That was serious.
Yeah, very serious. You had, like, slides.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
And you had proof of something.
Exactly. I had proof of something, and I solved some mystery about a liver sample.
Yeah, it was very important.
Right, yes, exactly. Locking eyes with Harrison Ford.
He seems like intense guy. He's very serious.
Yeah.
I know he's been funny. I've seen him be funny. He's funny in the Star Wars movie. Maybe not off camera, but
yeah. I'm trying to think. In the Star Wars movies, he was charming.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a guy given to levity, though. He doesn't impress me that way.
Right.
And he was really, really lovely to me.
Yeah.
But maybe not so much everybody else.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
You're not going to say yes or not going to deny or confirm, but
just for a second here, I thought, would he be listening to this podcast
I don't think
and go,
so.
that bitch, I was so nice to her.
Oh, that'd be exciting. Then maybe he'd have to come on here and go like, I want to answer some of the accusations.
Right, and really seriously with no sense of humor.
Yeah. So when you went to college, did you do acting?
I did, yeah. I at Illinois State, and it just so happens, it was the only state school I could get into because I had shitty grades, but it also had a terrific theater department, and all the kids from, now they're all grown-ups, of course, the Steppenwolf Theater, which is a fabled theater in Chicago with Joan Allen and John Malkovich and Gary Sinise and Terry Kinney and
Tracy Letts.
Tracy Letts. Actually, he came even more after that. He's around my age. These guys were probably about 8 or 9 years older than me.
So wait, so they were involved with your...
A lot of them went to Illinois State University.
Really?
So I had a lot of their same teachers, and some of them would come back and teach workshops. So I got to meet a lot of them. I met Rondi Reed.
Yeah.
Joan Allen. I don't know that Joan came back to ISU. Laurie Metcalf. So when I got to Chicago, I had a kind of a natural... I got to be in a couple of their plays.
Now, were you actually in Steppenwolf?
I was not in the ensemble, but I did about 3 shows.
How did it work there? Because I don't know that I've talked to, I don't know if I've talked to anybody who's been inside that world. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was it, a troupe? Was there a core group?
There was a core group, and then they would add now and again, but it was kind of a big deal. You know,
they were known for intensity.
Yes, they were known for intensity. It's an actor's theater.
Yeah.
So it was completely revolved around the actor's art. Everything served the actor, and not that we didn't pay attention to wardrobe and everything, but it was the acting process was given great reverence. And
whose concept was it? Who were the guys?
Gary Sinise started it. In fact, I don't think he went to college. He's the one who found the church basement in Highland Park for all of them to come.
Really?
Yeah, he was sleeping in his car, and he was the one who loved Steppenwolf and named the group after them. So he was kind of the wind beneath the wings of that formation.
Yeah.
And then came Terry Kinney and Jeff Perry.
Terry Kinney's a great actor.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
I haven't seen him lately.
Yeah, he's a New York guy, I think. I think you know what I saw him in? I saw him in Sarah Silverman's movie. He played the drug counselor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was wonderful.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, just a little.
He's always great.
Very honest.
What plays did you do at Steppenwolf?
I did a play called Reckless. Craig Lucas wrote with Joan Allen, and Terry directed it. Terry Kinney directed it.
So you're working with Joan Allen
and Boyd Gaines. I worked with her. Yeah, I worked with her back in 19.
So she was still there.
90. She was actually living in New York and came back and do it. And a lot of in those days anyway, they would be gone elsewhere, but they would come back and do a play.
What was that like?
Great.
Because you were young, right?
Stars. Yeah, I was. I was just out of college, and maybe I was 28 or something. But it was a big deal. Not only did I know who she was from movies and stuff, but growing up in the theater, and we knew who the Steppenwolf people were.
Yeah,
it was a pretty big deal.
Like mythic.
And then Terry Kinney directing it was a huge deal. I did a show called Terry Won't Talk and a guy named Jim West directed it, and I understudied a play called Stepping Out.
Yeah,
which I ended up going on, and that was a great thing. And then I did that was a wonderful play. Then I did a play called Inspecting Carol that I did while I was living with Elaine Soloway. So it was after the Brady Bunch.
In the basement.
And I was living in the basement and doing
theater in
Inspecting
the basement.
Carol. Yeah, with Austin Pendleton. Eric Simonson directed it.
Did Steppenwolf stay in the same location? Was it actually a basement?
It moved.
Oh,
it was in Highland Park first, and I didn't know that was way back in the early days. Yeah. And then it moved to the Jane Addams Hull House on Broadway in New York, and it was kind of still in a basement.
Yeah.
And then it moved to a theater on Halsted. And they were there. That's where I performed. I did the last show that was there. And now they've got this huge, they're still in Halsted. They have this huge, beautiful state-of-the-art theater that was, sponsored by United Airlines or something like that. And I did the second play there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a wonderful play.
So Malkovich never came back.
He did. I think he did. He did. He did a play with, he did. He did a play with Joan Alan, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was a two-hander, and I forget what it was called.
Burn This? Was it? Did you see?
Yes, it was Burn This, and they went to Broadway with it.
Yeah,
so that was like in the 90s. Boy,
I saw
really
that.
Know your Steppenwolf.
I saw that.
You saw that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't see a lot of theater, but I remember at some point when I was younger being a huge Malkovich fan and going to see Burn This, and just like him running around yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good at that.
Yeah, he's great at yelling. He's a great yeller.
Yeah.
Did you see Bomb in Gilead?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that was amazing. That was Laurie Metcalf's big star turn. I think it's Lanford Wilson.
Yeah,
it's really dark.
Yeah.
And she's the kind of the yokel from the south side of Chicago. He's in the big city sitting at a diner and all these characters, and yeah, she was fantastic.
Do you go to theater?
I do. Yeah, I go
Here?
a lot. Here, not so much.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
I'm going to get a lot of bad emails. We're doing a show right now.
Yeah, right, exactly. I did theater here too. I did some on Santa Monica Boulevard. I did a lot of sketch comedy. Where Upright Citizen Brigade is. I did a show.
The Tamarind?
Yeah,
the old Tamarind?
A lot of shows there. My first one-person show, and I'm doing air quotes for those who can't see me, because I had like 4 people in it.
So so that implies to me that when you all those theaters, I just assume are just filled with relatively good actors.
Yeah, like the Hudson.
Or just trying to get something done.
Yeah, do their thing. Yeah, and that's when I first got here. That's what we did. There was like a group of us. We had done the Real Life Brady Bunch, and we absorbed other people. Like Will Ferrell did stuff with us. We had this thing called the Beechwood Palace Jubilee that we used to do every Monday night.
Wait, let's go from So did you go to graduate school?
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's go back. I went to graduate school after Illinois State. I went to Cornell in upstate New York.
Acting, for real.
Right, and they had a 2-year MFA program, and I got a nice little scholarship. It was really good, but I got to tell you, the training I got at ISU was really fantastic.
So, 2-year Cornell, that's a fancy school.
It's a fancy school,
and
kind of a small theater program.
MFA in theater?
Right, and I did Curse of the Starving Class there, among other things, which is a Sam Shepard play.
Oh, and so was there 12 of you? Was it that small?
Very small, yeah. In my class, there were probably 8, and the class, 8 to 10 max.
And are you doing all this stuff, sword fighting and all the weird training?
Exactly.
And Alexander method?
Yes, and we did this thing called American Mime.
What is that?
Where it's this mime troupe in very weird group of people from New York. I don't even know if it exists anymore. And it's almost militaristic. There's a certain way it's tension release, and after a 2-hour class, you're crying with fatigue. And people are the only thing you're allowed to say is, I am exalted or I am diminished.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all. You can only express an extreme. But you have to be quiet, and the teacher, is really like a drill sergeant. And
you have to jerk around? Yeah,
well, it's very controlled tension release.
Interesting.
And if your stomach's sticking out, they slap it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was really good. It was really good. It was a kind of
Did you do ballroom dancing and stuff?
We didn't do ballroom dancing. We did movement and ballet.
Ballet
was so good especially for me and most of us. We weren't dancers, so we had to learn this very precise, controlled kind of bar movements.
Yeah.
And you do it to this beautiful music, classical music.
Yeah.
Every time I hear those pieces now, my feet kind of want to do the thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a good dancer, but it was such a beautiful thing to get in touch with your body that way, and it's their small, beautiful movements.
Well, that's what all of it does, right? Because sometimes I talk to actors who didn't necessarily study acting, and a lot of them, there is a certain natural ability that you either have or you don't.
Yes.
But a lot of the people that didn't train as actors in college or anything, they're just I don't know what my process is.
Yeah.
But whether you use that stuff or not, it integrated into you.
Well, you get to, like they said, my teachers at Cornell, one guy said, we don't want you to look like you rented your body this morning. Yeah. We want you to be in touch with it all the way to the tips of your fingers, so you're not at the mercy of it.
Right.
You are in control of it's your clay.
Yeah.
It's your medium. And we did fencing, another thing, after an hour of fencing, you're dripping sweat and wanting to cry.
Yeah.
And we had this Olympic guy who used to coach the French Olympic team. His name was Jean-Jacques Gillet. And I remember...
Of course it is. Has to be his name.
No, we'd say, your feet have to be fleet on the floor. Now I just did a Russian accent.
That's okay.
But that's all right. Like I said, I did not excel in accents. I can do a lot, but accents and dancing.
Just mix them up.
You're right.
As long as it's your interpretation. We gave the guy the right name.
Right. Remember Christopher Guest in Waiting for Guffman when he's talking about doing My Fair Lady, and he says, I can't wait to get out of this L.O. That's supposed to be his Cockney accent because they drop their H's. L.O.
He's so funny.
Yes.
So you go to Cornell, you fence. You dance.
I fence.
You do some
American mime.
Some draining mime.
Yes, exactly.
And then you go to Steppenwolf, and you're in Chicago. So, at how's your life? Are you ambitious? Are you fucked up, or what?
I'm fucked up, too.
Yeah.
I'm ambitiously fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a lot.
Oh, yeah? With the Steppenwolf people?
Not necessarily. I was in the theater community. We played softball, and I was also, in and out of the closet. Don't let anybody know. Mm-hmm. So I would go to this bar, literally called The Closet.
Oh, really?
And so
that was your sneak away?
Yeah, that was my sneak away. So I suffered around everything.
Yeah.
But
that's Catholic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Have to.
And I was very much involved in non-equity stuff where they don't pay you. So I would work temp during the day. I was in a Shakespeare company.
Holy shit, you did Shakespeare
we
too?
We did Shakespeare, where we did it out at schools, and then we would do little shows. We would do shows in the park, and then I got cast at Second City in the touring company.
Oh, right to the touring company?
That's kind of where you start. I didn't take classes, no, but that trajectory of classes to the touring company really never happened. That was just to sell classes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the touring company, that's hardcore kind of.
It is, except it's set. It's a set show. You're not improvising. You're doing the greatest hits of scenes.
Are you doing pretend improvising?
No, we do a little bit. We do games like first line of dialogue and a location. Thank you, ma'am. And then Faith Soloway was our piano player. Who is a piano player?
That's where you met Faith?
Yeah. And
you don't go. You don't do the main stage, or you never got there?
No, I did not. I did not graduate up. I never got asked to the show, as they say. I understudied Bonnie Hunt a lot. I got on stage, got to do her stuff, which kind of suited me very well. I think she's pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
And but no, I remember I said to Joyce Sloan, who was the woman at the head of it and made these decisions, I would go in periodically because I was told to. They said, just go in and remind her that you're here and that you'd love to be on a stage. So I would go in, and the last time I went in, she looked up and said, Jane, stop. You will never be on a stage. Okay? I'm sorry, honey. And she went back to work. And I was just devastated. Devastated.
Well, I think you did all right.
I did okay. And you know what?
Those stories, is there any sort of Schadenfreude-like satisfaction?
No, not really. No, not really.
Right.
But I got. She sent me. Andrew Alexander actually sent me flowers when I won an Emmy for Glee. So I thought that was very nice, very nice. But you'll never see my name. They won't claim me. If you have to be on a stage to say, people who have been with Second City.
Right.
And they have all these people, and my name will never be on there because you have to have been on a stage.
Wow, you think they just go ahead and claim you?
Make an exception, yeah. Maybe they will someday.
She was almost here.
She was almost, put a little asterisk by my name. I don't care.
People who were ready to go.
Right. People who were unfairly shunned.
So is that where you started your relationship with with the Soloways?
Yeah. Well, it kind of happened, but I got a job almost immedately doing a play at Steppenwolf right after.
Oh, that was after Second City.
Yeah, that was after Second City, but I met Faith through Second City, and we started when Mick Napier started the Annoyance Theater. He had Wednesday nights free, and he had this overhead that was really crazy. He had to make this rent. He said, Jill and Faith, do whatever you want, just get people, get butts in the place. And so they decided to do real live episodes of the Brady Bunch. We don't have to write anything,
right? And
we'll just transcribe the script which Jill would do, and we all went to resale shops, got outfits for ourselves, and had our first rehearsal, and we're dying laughing, having so much fun. And so they announced it, and we were up on the roof drinking beer and having pizza before the first show, and we looked down, and there was a line down Broadway around just
caught on.
Drive. Yeah, it was like from the second it was announced.
Really?
It was packed, and Mick loves drinking and smoking, so he allowed people to smoke and drink in the theater, and we had old couches and it was a fire hazard.
Right.
But it was a raucous, fun, good time.
And who it was? Hutzel, Melanie Hutzel.
Oh, Melanie Hutzel, who did play Jan. Yeah. Melanie Hutzel, Becky Thayer, Pat Town,
Richter,
Andy Richter, me. My friend Mary Weiss played Alice.
Yeah.
And then we had a bunch of guest stars.
How long did it run there?
It ran in Chicago for about, let me think. Our first commercial was, it's the summer of 1990. And I think we went to New York in 91, the spring of 91. And then we came out here in the spring of 92.
with the show
to Westwood Playhouse.
And when did you decide to move here?
I went home after the Westwood Playhouse to live with Jill's mom. Yeah. And do the play at Steppenwolf, Inspecting Carol. And then I came back here.
After the run in L.A.?
Yeah. After the run. Then I came back here in probably 93. And I got an apartment and I haven't left.
And that was it?
That was it. I was here.
So how bad, in terms of, when did you finally, come out?
You mean out of the closet?
Yeah,
it was never official. It just kind of happened. It just kind of happened.
You didn't need to announce?
I didn't need to, and I didn't have to have a press conference. I remember there's this story of one of the guys in our group who everybody knew he was gay and he wasn't out yet. And he said to Mick one day, Mick Napier, who's kind of fluid in terms of his sexuality, said, Mick, can we have margaritas tonight? And Mick's looking at his watch going, yeah, sure, he knows exactly what it is.
Right.
I have to talk to you about something. Okay. So he's got so much to do that night, too. It was the night the Brady's opened or something. Yeah. So they're having margaritas, he's eating the salsa, and he's looking at his watch, and he goes, okay, what's up? He goes, well, I think I'm gay. And he said, I knew that. Now let's get back to work. You're okay with it? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
What do you think was going to happen?
Right.
No! I don't know you.
I don't know you. You're not my friend anymore.
That doesn't happen in theater.
So I didn't do that. I didn't have any of those moments. Yeah.
Just kind of, but you grew more comfortable with it.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And how, in terms of your comfort factor around that, how did that coincide with alcohol use?
Interesting. I bet they probably went hand in hand. I never really thought about it, but I got sober while we were doing because I was a big drunk doing the Brady Bunch at
Were you messy? Were you known?
No, I wasn't messy. Everybody else was much messier than
me,
and they're still drinking and they're fine with it.
Bastards.
I know. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I haven't drank 16 years. I got.
Oh yeah. Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm having a glass of wine.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
But I mean, it's 25 years.
Right.
So I think I'm going to be fine.
She said the last time anyone interviewed her.
Right. Exactly. Jane's final interview.
She's not dead. She's just at home.
Right. Exactly. She hasn't left the house. So that I didn't get sloppy, but I think I started getting much lighter as a person around the age of 33 when I got sober. Just like our Lord Jesus Christ left the planet at that point, ascended.
Yeah.
I ascended in my own way, and everything became lighter.
Lighter? You mean you felt better with yourself?
Oh, I was happy. I was giggling happy. Kind of in a bliss that's never left me.
Really?
Yeah. I don't get I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't been depressed in decades.
And what do you attribute that to?
I think I dropped stuff with,
It just happened?
I don't think you can consciously do it. Like, I got struck sober. I really just woke up one day and I was done.
Well, you have a very, you seem to have a strong personality around that. Around things like decision making and.
Yeah, but it wasn't conscious and it wasn't like,
is it a spiritual moment for you?
I think it's a spiritual moment, yeah. I'm trying to describe something in a soundbite that's really, I think, quite something you can't describe.
And you see it that way.
I've experienced it that way. Yeah, that's how, I guess if I were to tell the story of my life, I would put it in the spiritual chapter.
The white light moment.
Right, exactly.
But you don't attribute it, but your spirituality is fluid?
Well, I hope I live in a good state of presence as much as I can.
Presence.
Yeah. I think,
Is that a Buddhist word? How is that word? I understand the word and I like it and I feel it when I'm on stage and I think we do what we do for that immediacy.
It's like hooking into that thing where the ego doesn't really exist and where, trying and effort doesn't exist. It's just kind of a...
Right. So, did any of that coincide with you?
Getting sober?
Well, no, not so much getting sober, but to have that thing, the happiness thing. Because the only time that's happened to me is recently because, I finally got to a point where I wasn't just trying to get somewhere.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And, I stopped trying to get somewhere.
Right.
I was still very... Yes, and I was driving, I had a little red Golf. I still have a red Golf. I just bought a new one.
Yeah.
I was driving around in my little red Golf and going to auditions, and I was like, hey, I want to do voiceover. Let me get a voiceover agent. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do commercials. I wonder if there's a way I can, start doing guest spots on sitcoms. And, and I just started.
When you got here?
Yeah, when I got here. And I was lucky in that I had an agent from Chicago who also had an office here in Los Angeles. And so I kind of hit the ground running. And it was, even though, I wasn't a star and I wasn't rich, everything was flowing so nicely.
And you were enjoying yourself?
And I was enjoying myself. I was loving it. Loving it.
Well, that's great. So what was this thing you did out here with Will Ferrell and those people? How did that go?
It was called the Beachwood Palace Jubilee, and we had this guy, a really funny guy, who did this MC named Adamola Olega Bafola. Everybody would do their gigs.
Yeah.
You know, they'd come in, like the Roxbury guys, Chris and Will came in and did it at our thing, and Anna Gasteyer would do her thing, Molly Shannon would do her thing, and then we'd do things together. We'd do scenes. And,
so there were a lot of groundling people.
Yeah, a lot of groundling people, and then of course all of us too. So it was the real live Brady Bunch, you know.
So it's a variety show thing.
Yeah, it was a variety show. And at the end we always did a musical number we had no business doing. Something like It's a Hard Knock Life we did once. We did Good Morning Starshine. We did a chorus line. We did
oh my God, those
at the ballet.
Such funny people.
Yeah, it was great. It was hilarious. It was a night to be reckoned with.
I bet.
It was Monday nights, and we did it for probably a couple of years.
I mean, Will Ferrell's like, you just sit there when you're around him.
He wasn't
like,
there every day, but
he's one of those oddly kind of like, how do you get that funny?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know where it comes from.
I saw him in a Monday show at the Groundlings way back when I first got here, and every scene was absurd and weird and done with such love and such joy. And then Chris Kattan used to do this thing where you climb up him like a monkey. Yeah. And Will would just stand there and he'd, kind of help him, and he'd climb all the way up to his neck and then grab a hold of him. It was hilarious. I'd never seen anything like that.
So were you doing all that when you came out here? So you had a good agent, you had all these great friends.
Yeah.
And the Brady Bunch had a great reputation, so you're hanging out with top-notch funny people.
Right.
But you didn't want to be in the Groundlings?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you were done.
I think I was done with
the training.
And where I was, the people I was working with,
yeah.
I didn't even cross my mind to take a class or anything.
Right. So you just started working.
Yeah.
And you would do anything.
I would do anything. Absolutely. Yeah, I did anything. I mean, short of porn. But
right.
I would. At one point, I stopped doing the sketch stuff, and it was falling away for all of us.
Yeah.
But I remember going, I don't want to do another closing number in my underwear. We did a lot of that, too. A lot of pantyhose and briefs.
You got to for the closer.
You have to. Come on.
Yeah, close big.
We got to put it out there. And so I I took a bunch of my stuff, like monologue stuff I had done alone, and I started bringing it, like there was a show at Highways that Terry Sweeney was putting on, and I met people like Taylor Negron.
Taylor,
Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah.
He was an amazing monologuist.
Yeah.
And Kathy Griffin.
Great rhythm.
Yeah, he did. He had this thing where he was talking about Uggs.
Yeah.
And how wonderful they are in the snow.
Yeah.
And his voice would trail off.
Right.
Yeah, he was just the...
So that was that Uncabaret crew.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't...
A little before?
It wasn't, yeah, but it wasn't Uncabaret. It wasn't... maybe it was a little before. Yeah. Or maybe it was at the same time, but...
so it was Kathy Griffin.
Kathy Griffin, and I can't remember... Nora Dunn.
Yeah.
So I met a lot of people who were stand on their own types who did their own thing, and so I started doing my own
What
thing.
was your own thing?
My first thing was this character I called the Angry Lady, and I wore a neck brace, I had an eye patch, and I had a broken middle finger, and she was just a victim, and everything was about how she was minding her own business.
Oh, that's so
And
funny.
somebody passed her on the right while she was on her bicycle, and she, broke her neck, and I'm going to sue everybody within a 20-mile radius. She could barely talking to the microphone like this. And she was so angry, and I came on to the Ride of the Valkyries music. That Wagner. So that was my first one, and then I took a monologue class, and one of the people in the class was Nora Dunn, who's a wonderful writer and a wonderful girl, and
good actress.
Yeah, and a great actress.
Yeah.
And we all started writing.
Yeah,
Marsha Wilkie too, another wonderful writer, and
writing for characters.
Yeah, writing for characters, and I guess that would end up. Yeah, it was. They were monologues.
Was Julia Sweeney around?
She was not around, but she was doing her show at that time.
Right.
And then I cobbled together all these monologues and all these characters and some silly little lesbian folk songs that I'd come up with. And I put a show together and put it on at Tamarind, and I called it Oh Sister, My Sister. And it was Deeply Feminine Tales of the Deep Feminine. And I had a couple of friends in it. I had a friend who did the sound, and at that time it was cassette tapes. So every time a sound cue was coming up,
click,
play. Eject, could play. So that was her job, and a lighting guy, and I had my two friends in it, and it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Great little theater.
Yeah, great theater.
Did you find that was, I imagine at this point that to the gay and lesbian community you're somewhat of a hero. on some level.
Well, I took that show to the Gay and Lesbian Center, and I premiered it. I was one of the first shows at the Lily Tomlin Jane Wagner Theater.
Oh.
And so, yeah, that's when I started getting a little cred in the LGBT community.
Uh-huh. Yes. Did you meet Lily?
Yes, I met Lily under different circumstances later on, and she's the best.
Yeah?
I've given her awards, where we're honoring Lily Tomlin. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll make the speech.
Who does the Lily Tomlin Awards? Jane Lynch.
Jane Lynch does them, yeah. And she gave me one.
Oh, she did?
Yes. Yeah.
How great was that?
Oh, just a peak experience. Doesn't get any better than that.
It's sort of amazing. Like, I can't. The evolution of that community in general, is beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
Because, like, in your lifetime, the differences in how people live is extraordinary.
It is. It's just a huge leap. And now, and this is what I hope will happen. I mean, I bet it happens on the coasts first. Now, hopefully, it's just such a no-brainer that we don't even need a gay and lesbian center. I think we will always need a gay and lesbian center, though, for the kids who are in the flyover states that don't have, the support that we have here.
Yeah.
So we always need a place to,
Yeah, it's
and
weird.
for all kids need a place to go where they're loved, and
right, to feel accepted.
And feel accepted, and I know there's a lot of straight kids out on the street too. The Gay and Lesbian Center specializes in getting those gay kids that have been kicked out of their
But what about just the sweet, sensitive, chubby ones?
I know, and you know what? They are not turned away, which is wonderful.
What about the people that just don't know how to talk to the other people, but they're good folks inside?
Exactly. Everybody deserves a place of refuge.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting that there's that philosophy of come on, fight it out. High school's high school, but high school's ruined quite a few people.
It sure has, boy.
You know what I mean? Like, not gay lesbian aside, just like people who are sensitive.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't gravitate towards some sort of nerdy pastime, they might be full-on loners.
Well, the great thing about the world today is that people like Bill Gates are now our heroes. Yeah. I mean, take a look at the face on that guy. When he is now and when he was a kid, I'm sure but he had such confidence in what he knew. And I think that it's revenge in the nerds right now.
It is. Yeah. And culturally, I think we're getting a little exhausted of the nerds.
I've had it with the nerds, actually.
Me too.
I think they need to go back to be marginalized.
Yeah, can we just go back to entertaining everybody?
Yeah. Right.
I don't know enough about comic books or sci-fi movies.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right. So, how does it happen that you start defining yourself as a comic actress? When does a relationship with Chris? You did commercials and everything?
I never defined myself as anything. I really didn't. It's just
let's say that the business,
world did.
Right, that's fine.
They defined me.
But you did commercials and you did voiceovers and little things,
right? And guest spots on sitcoms, and stuff like that.
So you were just around.
Yeah. I was kind of in a position that there isn't a world for it anymore. That kind of middle class actor,
right?
It's either feast or famine in the business.
Well, there are a few of them, but they're the only ones working.
Exactly.
There's a middle class actor, but there's 9 of them.
There's 9 of them, exactly.
Right. But there was when you were starting.
Yeah.
There was a place, and there was enough. Well, it seems like there's a lot of stuff being made, but there might not be a lot of stuff being seen.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You mean now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much being made.
I guess there's not a lot of stuff being made for no money.
Yeah.
Is the difference.
But there's so much on television now. It seems to me that there can be a middle-class actor, maybe. I'll bet there is. Because, there's shows I've never seen.
Oh, people bring shows up all the time. They're like, have you seen this? It's in its 4th season. I'm like, what the fuck? Where is it? It's
Bates Hotel. I watched the first episode yesterday. It's an amazing show. I didn't even know about it.
Well, like you said before, though, you run out of time. I don't even know how people have time to have dinner with people.
Yeah, I know.
I just, when you do what we do, you're sort of half self-employed. And if you're employed, that's completely consuming. Yeah. And then when you're not doing something steady, you got a million other things going on. Right. So there's no time for anybody.
No.
That's why you just have a community in your house.
Yes.
You don't have to
I got the warm bodies right there.
But you just have dinner there.
Right.
But I would say, wouldn't you say that the first time that you really sort of became defined as a comic actress was with Chris?
Chris, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I was doing a commercial for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, and he directed it.
Oh.
Yeah, so I went through the audition process, and then at the callback, there he was.
Directing a Frosted, I guess everyone's got to make a living.
He directs commercials all the time. He does the hilarious ESPN commercials. If you ever laugh out loud at a commercial, Christopher Guest directed.
Does he do it because he likes to?
I think because he likes to. He does not need the money.
Right.
I think he does it because he loves it.
Because advertising people, if you're in the funny advertising people game, I mean, that's a very competitive, sometimes very brilliant little world.
Yeah, it is. It is. The Joe Pitkas. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the rules that Chris has, and he has it when he makes a movie too, is nobody is allowed to have any input. So that can be maddening for like a client, but they do it. They do it anyway. They are off in a room, like the Kellogg's people were off in a room, not allowed to talk to us, not allowed to talk to him.
Oh, okay, so that's his fuck you.
Yeah.
I had to assume there had to be a fuck you in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think he collaborates in the beginning, but then in he basically says, this is how it goes. And, when he's creating and he's doing his thing, And
that's how you met him?
That's how I met him, yeah.
And then he just loved you, or how did it work?
I guess so. Wouldn't that be nice? Yes, and I love him too.
Yeah.
He told me at lunch when we were doing the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes thing, he said, I do movies. And I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for Guffman. Come on, it's Spinal Tap. And he said, maybe doing another one. I hope we can work together again. And I said, I would love that. And then I ran into him at a restaurant about 6 months later. And he went, oh, yeah, Jane, I forgot about you. Come to my office today. Yeah. And by the end of the day, he had asked me to go to Vancouver to do Best in Show. So that's how that came down.
That's a great character.
Yeah, that was, thank you.
Oh, my God.
And,
that's so funny.
Jennifer Coolidge, the best partner a girl could ask for.
It's hilarious.
In her maiden voyage with the Christopher Guest people, yeah.
Was that her first time?
Yeah, it was her first time.
Where did she come from?
She'd been around. I had seen her around. She's about my age.
Right.
I had seen her around. She'd done She TV.
Yeah.
You remember She TV?
A little bit.
It was really funny. And she was at the Groundlings.
Right.
She was a Groundling.
But that role for her was just was
hilarious.
Her breakout.
Yeah, she was just firing on all cylinders.
And now when you work with him, it's a lot of improv?
It's all improv. Yeah, there's no rehearsal, and he just shoots.
So that experience, how did that change your whole life?
Well, it changed my career for sure, because people knew who I was, and kind of almost by name. So that was nice, and I started getting offers as opposed to having to audition, which I really loved. And then,
But how many of them were for butch women?
Right. There were a lot. Let me tell you, I had a brilliant agent.
Yeah.
Who would send me out for things that were written for men. And then the casting directors get to feel like they were thinking outside of the box when they cast me. So I got a lot of those roles. Got a lot of doctors, therapists, cops, detectives.
That were written for men. Now, when Glee happened, did you have how did that happen?
I knew Ryan Murphy. I had done a really funny guest spot on Popular.
Yeah.
Very popular. It was an insane, hilarious. I played like 5 different people, and we had a blast. And then 10 years later, he offered me Sue Sylvester, which was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
And I guess that the Sue Sylvester was not in the pilot, and Kevin Riley, who was running Fox at the time, said, you need a villain. And so Ian Brennan, who is the guy who actually Glee was his brainchild, and he's one of the darkest, funniest guys I've ever met. He's a Chicago guy too. Also, when you meet him, he's all light. He's very, but he writes really dark stuff, and he created Sue Sylvester. And so I was the recipient of his crazy manic darkness for 6.5 years.
It's done?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it ended at let's see, we did 5.5 seasons actually, but it was 6.5 years. I guess the last episode was on about a year ago.
And it was hugely successful.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. Yeah.
It changed culture.
Yeah, it did. I mean, a lot of kids just, it what really helped kids who love to sing and love to do plays and stuff like that, and it showed the cool kids doing it as well. And
I think it might have brought the musical back.
Yeah. On TV though?
No, but I mean in general.
Yeah, I think kids, because and adults too love this show. They kind of stuck to the musical format. Mm-hmm. No, not 100%.
Right.
But how a musical is, you don't sing a song unless you are in such a state as a character that the only way to express yourself is through music. We didn't always stick to that.
Right.
But I think it revived the musical in a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah, because I don't know, some people are very. Did you grow up with musicals?
Yeah, I did. I loved them. Yeah, Rodgers and Hammerstein, and
because I'm affected by them, but I don't seek them out.
You don't seek them out. I love it.
Like, if I go to one, I'm immediately emotional because people are singing, and I find that to be so vulnerable.
It is, isn't it? It's one of the most vulnerable things.
I think so too. I totally think so. Some
Standing
people
up there and going, oh, it's so revealing.
Right then, I got emotional.
Aww.
Yeah, it is.
It is raw.
But people who sing, they don't really think that way necessarily because they're singers. But to somebody, like, I think because to me, it's such a vulnerable place to be.
Yeah, I agree.
But to people who just belt it out, they're like, what are you talking about? Just get up there and put it out there.
But I think the reason we respond to it is because they express for us too, and I think that's why a lot of kids want to be singers, because they feel something so deep that they don't even understand.
Yeah.
And they can experience some release and some catharsis through singing.
Yeah, and it's so human. Like when you see, like, it's that theater thing again. I've been talking about this to a few people, I think, like even when you go to the opera, I don't have any idea what the hell the opera is. I've only been to one or two.
Yeah, me too.
But you forget that, like, it's not amplified. You just have someone up there singing over an orchestra of wooden instruments.
Well, now it's amplified.
No, I know, yeah, but like the vulnerability is still there because of the human factor.
Yes.
And you don't see that very much.
Right.
And with singing, like with musicals, you can hear the foot stomping and like, you're like, oh my God.
It's so real, isn't it? It's a world. It's a whole world, and it's lit. It's alive. And
do you want to do a musical?
I do. Yeah, I did Annie on Broadway over 2 summers ago.
Really?
I stepped in for Miss Hannigan for 2 months.
How was that?
Oh, the best. I hadn't been on stage in probably 25 years.
Really?
And I just had the best time. And that's why I started doing the stage show.
Right.
I had so much fun.
What kind of venues are you doing the stage show in?
A lot of performing arts centers, huge 1,500 seat theaters.
Subscription theaters?
Yeah, a lot of subscription theaters. Some gorgeous places. Like we were just in Omaha, and they have this performing arts center that is just gorgeous and with the best acoustics in the world. Now, everybody came out if they filled the joint. Yeah. Same thing in Minneapolis. But then we'll do
That's
smaller
a great theater town, though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are a
great culture town.
Yep, indeed they are. So we are a lot of performing arts centers, and then of course we just did Largo, which was a joy, about 300 seats. It was so much fun. We're going to do.
Did the Hollywood people come out? Hi, Jane.
They kind of did. They kind of didn't too.
Yeah.
It was a mix of people. It was a blast. There were a lot of great people that came out. That surprised me. I don't know about you, but I don't like to know who's in the audience.
Oh no, I never do. It bothers me sometimes.
I just want to do the show.
Yeah, it bothers me to know that, like, because then you're sort of like, well, that person's going to judge me that way.
Exactly.
Because I'm judging them.
Yes.
And I barely know them.
I know, I judge them. Of course they're judging me. Yeah, I don't like to know who's out there. In fact, people come and go, you know who's coming? And I go, don't.
Yeah.
And we're doing a big tour in June all over the country. We're doing like 21 dates.
Yeah.
God help let my voice last through that whole thing.
Do you take care of it? Do you, do you have tricks? Do you know things?
Not really. No, I don't have tricks, but I don't, I was just going to say I don't drink and smoke, but I've been doing a little bit of that lately. Maybe I have to cut that out. I'm pretty good at, getting my sleep and stuff, so I think I should be okay.
Did you take voice training?
No, not at all. I have very strong pipes naturally, knock on wood.
Wow.
And there have been times that I've lost them. I got acid reflux where it was burning my esophagus.
Yeah.
And my voice started to suffer, and oh my God, I took it for granted for so many years.
It's delicate.
It can be a delicate thing. I don't want to treat it like it's too delicate, but I got to watch out.
I took one singing lesson because someone gave it to me as a gift, and I almost cried.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
why?
because it's like, all right, just fine. You're like, like that place where
vulnerable.
You follow your breath. Yeah, it's like you just feel like, no, this is very close to crying.
Yeah. It is. There's nothing like it, man.
No, there isn't. I got to do more of it.
Yeah, we've been doing the show a lot, so both Kate and I are probably in the best voice we've been in a long time. And this guy, Tim Davis, also sings with us. He was the vocal arranger in Glee, and he's got an amazing voice.
How did you know her? Kate, yeah.
From Chicago. We both were at the Annoyance Theater at the same time.
So she's from there, too?
Yeah, she's actually from Philadelphia, but she came out to Chicago.
She's a riot.
Yeah, she is. She's one of the nicest people in the world. And she's the best frickin' sidekick ever. She really, I kind of do an Eve Arden type thing, and she's my Kay Ballard. It's such a great little match. It's just, I love her. I couldn't do the show without her. She's the best.
I can't believe how much film and television you've done.
Yeah, I never say no.
Like I'm sitting here, like I pull this up sometimes. Like maybe there's a couple things we need to. There's too much.
Yeah, well,
and then there are these moments with your resume. You're like, oh shit, oh yeah. A lot of those roles.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. But I just remembered Afternoon Delight, Jill's movie.
Yeah,
The Therapist.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Oh, thank you. I was doing her therapist. She's got such a great view on people. And the most interesting people...
You knew the person?
I didn't. The most interesting people cross her path. It's just like she magnetizes the most interesting, and she's one of the most... accepting and compassionate people.
Well, that's what's interesting about her, because it's sort of hard to peg her personality if you just talk to her. Mm-hmm. But like she's very what do I want? She's got this weird mixture of completely defined yet seemingly boundaryless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and she'll go anywhere with you.
Right. It's tricky because she's definitely has a core. It's strong. It's planted. But when you're with her, you're not sure where. Mm-hmm. There's a porousness to it that is.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's hard to.
And she's curious. Which
I think that helps. Her. Like,
why do you think you did that?
Right.
Do you think A, is it because of blah, blah, blah? Do you think B, because, really? Or is it a combination? Huh. She's interested in motivation and what makes people tick on a deep level, not the superficial.
You know what I just felt when you told me that? I have to do that now. I should really be more like that.
More curious?
Yeah, about that
right,
specifically.
Especially in this job.
Why do you just do that?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, I don't want people to feel weird at their interview. They say one sentence and it's and I'm like, but wait, why did you? No, it's deeper than that.
Uh-oh. Now we're in therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'd go there with you.
Sure.
I'll go there with you.
Well, I feel like we've gone some places. What's going on with your personal life? You good?
I'm great. Yeah. I'm very, very happy. I don't have any desire for partnership or romance, so that takes a lot of pressure.
So you don't have a partner?
No, but Jen's like my partner, but we're not,
right.
We're not kissing.
Right.
And yeah, I'm happy. I go out to dinner with my friends
But you just do you randomly kiss people?
No.
Oh.
No interest. And sometimes in my dream, I'll have a dream about somebody and I'll kiss them and then I wake up and go, eh.
But did you have that realization where you're like, relationships, sexual relationships with responsibility are after a certain point like, taxing?
Yes. I get overwhelmed, and I think I've always been that way.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to admit it because I was under the influence of the social meme that says one must find a partner.
And also,
once I let that go, I was all right.
Maybe you were a little compelled by the drama, because drama is very compelling.
Yeah, and you feel you're alive.
Oh, yeah. Look, I'm screaming.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
alive.
Exactly. And then you think you're over, and you return to the scene of the crime.
Sure.
Remember?
Yeah. I just want to make sure you remembered.
Yeah, right.
Revisit.
And also, I want you to remember that I forgave you. Okay?
Yeah. You don't appreciate that enough.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been those. I've had those.
So childish, isn't it? Isn't it kind of on an infantile level? And I know there are relationships that go deeper than that. And I've seen them in my life around me where there are two people, but they have to get through that infantile stage.
Yeah.
And then it deepens into something beautiful and wonderful. And maybe even sex isn't a part of it, or maybe sex is a part of it.
But maybe it doesn't have to be the main part.
Right.
Well, if it's the main part, that's where you run into trouble.
Exactly. You cannot live by sex alone.
No, you can't. Especially as you get older, because you get tired.
You get tired of it. It's just too much work. It's always been too much work for me. Always. Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be over soon. I can tell.
Can we just go quick? Is there any way we can go quick? I know exactly what I need. Just tell me what you need. Maybe we get this done.
Wait, hold on. I'll do it myself. Just lie over there. Stroke my brow.
I thought that was perfect. Are you good? What? Now, I watched... I've actually watched the Hollywood Game Night a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say that in a condescending way. It's just not necessarily a show that is necessarily made for me. But not unlike a musical, when I have it on, I'm like, they're having fun and vulnerable, and they like those kind of games.
They are fun and vulnerable. That's what's so great about it, is the actors that show up to do it are celebrities are game, and they know that there's a really good chance they're going to look like an idiot.
Yeah, I'm terrified of it. Dude, just the idea, I've never played charades in my life. Because I'd be the guy that, as soon as they didn't know, I'd be like, oh, just fucking tell them. Like I don't have that fun part of me for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it seems like everyone
don't either, but I love being the host of it.
Well, whose idea was that?
It's Sean Hayes.
Oh.
Yeah, he has a terrific, I don't know, he's had one recently, but he has terrific game nights at his house where he mixes all sorts of people, like his celebrity friends, his a friend who's a chef, and someone who's an accountant, and we have these great nights, and I've been to a couple of them, and they're fantastic. He makes up all the games, and we go from room to room, and they're big events. They're kind of events that I don't like going to so much, but I enjoyed his, and I especially enjoyed watching him be the host of it. So when he asked me to do it, I was like, you bet.
Really? It's like just describing that, like
want to take a nap.
Yeah, I don't, like, I've been, like, you don't seem to have this, but like, there's part of me that's sort of like, I know it would be fun, but I don't want to do it.
That's me. Absolutely, that's me. Yeah, it sounds great. Like my niece was saying, oh, you go to this place out in Malibu, they play music and they have these lights and everybody gets together and they get blankets and then they watch a movie. It sounds like so much fun, but I'm not going to do it. There's no way in hell I'm going to do it. And as she's telling the story, I'm like, oh, isn't that nice? And then the ocean's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, how beautiful. No, I have no interest in doing it.
I'm not driving down there.
No, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, there's sand.
Right, it's 6:40 p.m. I'm going to bed.
I don't know what that is, because usually if I go, I have a pretty good time.
Me too.
What is that?
I don't know. Laziness.
I guess.
And also social anxiety for me. I just don't like
social anxiety, and also just like tonight.
I like a lot of people. I don't like being around a lot of people.
Right, and also just driving there.
Yeah. Oh, Malibu too.
Oh my God.
Oh, and she's jumping in her car. We're going to Malibu.
Like, oh my God, Malibu? Why?
And you're going to be in traffic for about an hour and a half of it. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Nah, I can do it.
Yeah, but if that's being old, I've always been old. I just get. I talk myself out of a lot of stuff. Anxiety. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think we're good.
This is great.
Are you good?
I feel like we've given and we've given and we've given.
We have.
Till we can't give any more.
Yeah. We probably could if there was an encore.
Could, if I didn't have to go to the bathroom. Yeah, right.
I go to the bathroom?
Right. Yeah.
I have one.
Oh, encores. I love encores.
You do?
Yes, I do, but we don't have to do one.
No, well, you can go to the bathroom. We don't have to come back.
No, let's not.
Thanks. That was me and Jane Lynch. Very nice. I enjoyed meeting her. She's exactly as you would expect. It was great. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to talk to her. Don't forget to use Spotify Discover Weekly to get new music that you'll love. Your Discover Weekly playlist is 30 songs personalized to your music taste. It's the perfect way to kick off your week. Go to Spotify.com/Discover Weekly now to get your new music playlist every Monday. That's Spotify.com/Discover Weekly. Go to WTFpod.com. Get yourself a t-shirt or a poster or something. Get the Howl app. I'm sweating out here. Okay? Play some guitar? A little? All right. a good reason to get on board. It's called Discover Weekly, only on Spotify. Discover Weekly allows you to lose yourself every week in the thrill of new music discovery. Your Discover Weekly playlist is 30 songs you didn't know you loved yet. You get a brand new, unique playlist every Monday. It's like having a music-obsessed friend who gives you all the best new stuff, like the older brother guy. The playlist is personalized based on your musical tastes. So the more you use Spotify, the better your playlist will be. It's the perfect way to get lost in new music and the perfect way to kick off your week. It's something to look forward to every Monday morning, in addition to new episodes of this show. Don't forget to save your favorite tracks on Sundays before your playlist refreshes. That way you'll get the best possible new picks tailored directly to your tastes. Go to Spotify.com/Discover Weekly now to get your playlist. That's Spotify.com/Discover Weekly. So here's the deal. You know, you get old, you get older, you get set in your ways. You start to justify your shitty behavior. Now, mine has become more limited. You know, there's only so much I can do. But there's some part of me that thinks that I can't change, or I don't want to change, or I'm too old to change. I never thought I would be that guy. I do think I've changed a bit. I've evolved. I'm not sure if people change, but you can tweak and sort of, kind of rewire and, try to sort of, disable some old, machinery. But, I still got this thing. I still got this heart. I still got this heart problem. That's not necessarily, it's not a physical malady. It's a mental and, emotional thing. Like, I just noticed that I was getting angry. You know, my relationship is nice. It's going well. And I don't know whether I react to stress or what happens, but I started talking about politics a little on stage, and I got to this point where I don't even really like my tone when I talk about it because I've been so open up there. So you try to do it in an open way, but then I feel anger coming out. And then when the anger comes up, there's a little bit of satisfaction to self-righteous anger. It feels good. Feels good to fucking, swagger around up there with a very defined and biased and partisan point of view and call out the dummies and do that thing. I used to live in that, and it's not very far away from me. So I feel that happening on stage, and I feel like I'm distancing myself from my true self. It's a manifestation, but it's not a good one. No one likes that. Even if you're funny, they're not going to like you. I mean, you can get laughs, but they're going to be like, this guy's a little worked up. But I feel it's important. So sort of wrestling with how to discuss my feelings about the political climate, and then do the other material, which seems, not irrelevant, but mundane, which it might be. But there's a lot of existential beauty in the mundane. If there wasn't, there'd be no poetry. There'd be no painting. There'd be no art. So, but I felt the anger crunch. I felt the clamp coming down on my heart, and it started to pervade. I started to sort of get, sort of cocky and defensive and reactive. I started engaging with trolls on Twitter. I started to feel the juice of rage bubbling up within me and riding it, but not letting it consume me. And then over nothing, after we had a lovely day, I got mad over nothing and, kind of, raged around like an asshole a little bit, and I didn't, it was weird with, in those moments where you have, a little outburst, which is not unusual in the couple situation. I haven't been doing it much, and maybe it was building up, or maybe it was, but it's really, there's other ways to communicate. I didn't choose those. Something just popped. And, you gotta get a handle on that popping. But what is that emotional injury right there? What is it that happens when you feel that pop? Where you're like, it just opens up so fucking quickly. And then you're in the rage, and it's like crack, and you gotta fucking come down from it. And then, you think you're justified because you have to be, because you don't want to shoot down the shame shoot. You want that to be a slow decline if possible. You don't want it to be immediate, because then, I don't know, maybe it's a buzzkill. But whatever the fact is, little ashamed that happened. Hey folks, today's show is sponsored by Basecamp. Don't waste time wading through millions of emails to get a grip on what's happening with your company or the team you work with. You should use Basecamp. It helps everyone stay on the same page. The all-new Basecamp 3 includes chat, project collaboration, and file storage, all in one single, secure, easy-to-use, cloud-based platform. It's flexible and affordable. See how simple business life can be. Start your first Basecamp project for free. Sign up now at basecamp.com/WTF. That's basecamp.com/WTF. We're also sponsored by CISO, the all-comedy ad-free streaming TV service made for the serious comedy nerd. Go watch the new show from community creator Dan Harmon called Harmon Quest. It's an epic adventure, both live action and animated, and always hilarious. You can watch every episode of Harmon Quest on CISO now. Go to CISO.com and use promo code HarmonQuest to get 2 months free. That's an extra month free. You'll also get classic series and loads of stand-up specials, every episode of SNL, the entire Monty Python catalog, and so much more. Start your free trial today at CISO.com. All right, let's do the show.
Lock the gate!
All right, let's do this. How are you, what the fuckers, what the fuck buddies, what the fucking ears, what the fuckadelics, what's happening? I am Marc Maron. This is my fucking podcast, WTF. I broadcast from my garage in the hills of Highland Park from the Cat Ranch, which is a self-designated name. It's not really a ranch. It's a small 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom that is slowly being taken back by the earth. Some repairs need to be done. Fires continue out here in L.A. I'm sorry if you've been inconvenienced or you lost property. My heart goes out to you. I do not know why it happens every year. I'm sure there's an explanation. It gets awfully dry. Perhaps the fires come from the lack of water. The lack of water in the city. But at Savings Bank Music Hall in Troy, New York, October 14th. At the Carolina Theater, November 17th in Durham. At the Night Theater in Charlotte on November 18th, at the James K. Polk Theater in Nashville, Tennessee, November 19th. I'm at the Vic for 2 shows in Chicago, December 3rd. That's all that's released right now. Those are the dates leading up to some other things. I'll let you know. Good. I did that. I self-promoted me. All right. Buster the Kitten. How's Buster the Kitten doing? Buster Kitten. Buster Kitten. Buster. He's all right. The black cat kitten is okay. I posted a video on Instagram today. Yes, I did that. I posted a cat video. It's not that great, but there's a lot of heart to it. What's happening is I have these old cats, Monkey and LaFonda. LaFonda is a slightly temperamental, older female cat, and Monkey, it turns out, is a very skittish, and somewhat cowardly male cat. And now I have this little, like he must be 3.5, maybe 3 months old, Buster Kitten. And all Buster wants to do is play. So he's pushing up against these old cats, and they're not hitting him. They're starting to accept it, but they're not playing. And it breaks my heart. This is my little melodrama. My little, theater of heartbreak is to see Buster just jammed with kitten energy, running around, looking for pals, and these old cranky fucking cats are just like, and I talked about this, but it's ongoing, but it looks like Monkey's starting to give in. It looks like Monkey is starting to engage and sort of, become open to the kitten. He's more mature than I am, it seems. He's able to process, trust a little quicker. It's only been a couple weeks. LaFonda, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. I just hope that Buster doesn't lose a fucking eye. Hey, wait, listen up, people. A lot of you people use Spotify, and there's a great way for you to get new music that you'll love. If you don't use Spotify yet, it's been a little humid, and the sky gets black and apocalyptic, and last night the sun looked red. I don't know. I'm wary to drag God into it, but, on a yearly basis, I do believe that the universe, let's call it the universe, the forces of nature, try to reclaim and take over or destroy the LA County region. Perhaps it's spite. Perhaps there's some sort of malice on behalf of the forces of nature that we here in LA are busy constructing a malignant alternate reality that we feed people. We feed them. We create an alternate reality that manufactures falsehoods and fictions that end nicely or end badly, but still not real. But LA, man, the fires creep me out. I do need to fix some shit in the house. I mean, I know I've talked about this ongoing theme. There's some ongoing themes, if you've been with us since the beginning, that I can't seem to shake, that I'd like to shake, that would sort of be relatively simple to shake, it would seem. Today on the show, the amazing and funny Jane Lynch will join me shortly. If you're not connecting now with a person, you know her. You know her from Best in Show, from The 40-Year-Old Virgin, from Glee, from Party Down, from Talladega Nights, from A Mighty Wind. She was supposed to come over once before, and that didn't work out because she got frustrated, I believe, and lost. And mad. A little. And then, we made up for it. We made up for it. I'm sweating. I don't have the air on. I can't put the air on while I'm recording. Thanks for asking. Tour. Yes. I will be in Bloomington at the Comedy Attic this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I believe all those shows are sold out. Stand Up Live in Phoenix, August 20th for 2 shows, still tickets. Albuquerque Journal Theater, September 3rd, still tickets. The Comedy Club in Rochester, the 9th and 10th of September. Don't know what's up with that. There's probably some tickets, but the bigger shows, a few theaters for the Too Real tour with my new Too Real photo shot. At the Wilbur, September 24th in Boston. At the College Street Music Hall, September 25th in New Haven, Connecticut. At Troy